We are back with episode 18. Actually wrote it on my dry erase board so that I'd remember. Neil and Dragon are dancing. Neil didn't warm us up this week though with Shaggy. I'm a little butthurt about
Yeah,
that.
that's true. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
But
messed up.
I'm not in a Shaggy mood. There's snow
I'm
coming
not in a
down.
Shaggy mood.
You know, just not. I'm not there. I'm not there. I might not punch somebody in the throat mood.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, let's do it.
Me and Dragon are gonna fight you.
Can we start with shots so that I get mellowed out before I have to handle?
Okay.
Rude.
Cheers.
Oh, that hurt. I can't move my head back.
What happened?
He's an old
What
man.
happened?
Let's go right into it. Neil broke himself again.
I woke up. There was a fresh powder of snow, and we've had some warmer days.
It was powder. It wasn't even ice. It was powder.
Hold on.
Oh, Neil.
So there's a fresh powder of snow, and before that, there's been some warmer days, and everything's kind of melted underneath it to a point and refrozen into ice. And so there's just like sheets of ice all over my farm. And I misjudged where I was. And I took a step on the fresh snow and I hit that ice. And fresh powdered snow on ice actually makes it more slippery. Like it actually like creates this like weird effect. It was dramatic. Like I can only equate the fall and the length of time it took me to hit the ground to something that you would see in a cartoon or Home Alone. Like it was, my feet were going like this.
Oh,
I hit the ground and I just heard pop, 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 snap, snap, crunch all up and down my back, and I can't even tip my head back.
Oh snap!
I wish we would have seen.
You don't have tennis rackets like for your shoes?
No,
whatever they're called.
I know what you mean. Snowshoes.
Snowshoes.
Tennis racket.
That's what we do with our tennis rackets here.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad you didn't break anything, but I feel like you constantly have issues.
Well, and I hate that. Can I just say, like,
can I show you
having issues?
I want to show you like a way to stretch your, like, look down.
Move my neck.
Look in your shirt. Look down inside your shirt.
What's happening?
Yeah, and spell attic like in the house attic.
ATTIC. I can't believe I fell for that. That's been like what 28 years since I've said that before. Like, Dragon, how do you remember that? How do you remember that? Like, it's been like literally decades of our lives since that's been relevant.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. You both looked so stupid looking in your shirts, and Neil was so serious doing it. Oh my gosh.
Well, I missed you guys. It has felt, and I've said this before starting a podcast with you guys, but it's felt like a long time since last week.
Yeah, it does feel like
it feels like it's been a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That happens in this space though. Like one day feels like a week. Like if I don't talk to somebody for like a day, I'm like, are they alive? It's been so long.
Yeah. We all have codependency problems, I think.
It's really bad. Yeah. And then like when Dragon's asleep, he works, I go through with, you know, like when you want to play with your neighbor kid growing up and you're like waiting for them to come outside. That's what I feel like. So Dragon got a new puppy.
Yes, I did.
Where is the puppy?
Gosh.
Has not been on camera yet.
Sleeping.
He's sleeping.
Ooh.
Let me go grab him.
Dragon gave him 2 baths. He said he gave him 2 baths yesterday. The puppy went and played in the mud after he got a bath.
Yeah, I like how you accusing him of being bougie for that, which that's not the problem. I give my dogs baths.
No, you call us.
I do.
Oh my god, that.
It's not giving dogs baths that are bougie. It's paying someone else to do it that's bougie.
That's fine. I am who I am. Look at that. He wants to speak in the microphone. Oh
little fluffer nutter.
Fluffer nutter. Dragon was cutting the puppy's nails last night, and Chris and I were in Discord with him, and we were like freaking out because he
Oh,
wasn't
look
like
at that sweet baby.
he wasn't like pushing his nail out. Oh my god, look at that face.
Oh, she's doing that
I-
little eye thing where they're looking up from his
It's so
head.
cute.
Like,
Okay, what's the puppy's name, Dragon? Oh my god, I just want so bad. What's his name?
my daughter named her Oreo because
Oreo.
he has the black and white,
Oh my gosh.
and
so
he's
cute.
a English Springer Spaniel.
Yeah. He's cute. And
Yeah.
I've said this before, but I'm super jealous that you have 2 dogs and Neil has a dog that has spots on their noses because Ford doesn't have any. He has a spot on his tongue, and the spots on the face. Cute. We have to post a new picture of Oreo on our Twitter because
Oh yeah.
Twitter needs to. Where'd Neil go? I always get shit for leaving, but Neil just got up and walked away.
He's gonna get his puppy.
I
Yeah,
didn't
he was.
specify the
It
puppy.
was so dumb. So I gave him a bath yesterday, and then like not even an hour later, it's playing in mud and dirt, and then I have like red dirt around here, like clay. So it was horrible.
Ford will do that. He'll get home from the groom. He'll go out and run huge puddles like the little shit heap.
Yeah, I don't know why they're they're rude. Cause Becky
No.
does that. Like she'll go in the garden and like roll in it with all the manure and stuff
Ew.
right after a
Gross.
bath.
One of the hardest things about living on a farm is managing manure and dogs. It's a thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's just things that nobody wants to know about. I try to share things that are embarrassing for me, not
Yeah.
like too real, because nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants.
No.
So we played poker last night for like half my stack. You can't flip pieces in that app.
It edits
Blocks
you.
it. So I had to put F ooh like just to like call him out. But then I think it was Verway that took me, Chris, and Goodfoot out all at right.
Were you trying to get out of the game when you went all in on me that last night?
Yep.
What?
Does that make it worse?
No. I
I
had a good.
Okay, I went all in because I was in the middle of trying to find a how to read a manga properly to make a tweet. And so I was like multitasking.
Yeah.
And I went all in, but then I won and I'm
Then you
like, well
caught
shit,
the pair.
I'm just gonna keep going. So let's just keep going. So I kept going. Yeah.
I wasn't like trying to call you out with that. I was just wondering.
No,
Like,
I
I was genuinely curious about if you tried to. If that's what you're trying to do.
I don't typically go all in, like
No.
unless.
And
I'm
that's what
trying
I
to
thought
go
was
out.
weird. I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? It's whiskey. I have a big enough stack. I can at least double her stack up because that's awesome. We can play more together. Or I win and she's gone, and then mission accomplished.
Really?
So I was kind of like gambling a little bit because everyone else folded. So it was like, win-win either way.
I'm glad that Chris played last night, and I'm glad that Goodfoot played last night because I feel like there's certain are just fun to play with, and Chris is really fun when you mess with him enough. Like if I raise too much and he comes back and when he said I was making him sweat, I don't know why it's so satisfying with certain people to like get them like
just knowing that
nervous.
You're getting a reaction.
Yeah. Chris is probably my favorite.
I tried that with Chris last night, like to scare him. It didn't work out because then he ended up getting a full house and he got me out.
He got you out. Yeah, Dragon sends a message and says VC, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then he dips and doesn't like. He's blown me off. I've gotten blown off more by Dragon than I have with any other man in my entire life. So rude.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. After poker, I finished. So I started watching High Card. I had never heard about it. No one's ever said anything about it. But I started looking up. I finished it, but it's not like it.
It's not like Bleach that has.
I need to check it out.
I can't commit to a anime yet that has like 100 or because I'll get bored with it. Like I'm still getting in watching anime, and all the ones I've watched so far I really like, and I would actually go back and rewatch. But this one actually was pretty good. It took maybe like 4 or 5 episodes in to keep watching it. But there's certain things with it, like like the main character kind of has like dinge, like he kind of acts like him sometimes, which may be why I kind of. If you guys watch it, I was gonna ask Alec. I'm sure
It's a
he does not.
commitment to ask him a question like that. Like
Is it?
I feel like it would
Commitment?
be because he's so excitable. Like so to bring
He's so
up something
excitable.
new.
Yeah. I think
How
that's
I
why
think
I wanna know, like, has he I'm sure he has not, but I just am newer. It's not been out that long. If you guys watch it. I also watched Ted Lasso. I was super proud of me. I
Gross.
watched
so
whatever.
pumped.
I'm really annoyed though because I feel like I keep watching shows to wrong and I absolutely like fall in love with it. But it
But Ted
is
Lasso is
Ted
impossible
Lasso.
not to
Oh
love.
my gosh. I freaking love Jason.
So good. And you
And
know
it
how you
really
know he's awesome? Everybody in the cast loves Jason Sudeikis.
yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
oh, he's just the best.
Yeah.
And Ted Lasso, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm a recovered addict. I don't care about talking about that. I've been in recovery since 2006. Alcohol's never been my problem, so I still do it today. But whatever. Um, and I felt like I was getting like endorphin releases watching Ted Lasso. I felt like I took MDMA and was like just happiness coming into my brain.
Seriously, I laughed the whole first episode the whole time. But when that chick,
Sparkling water.
I forget. Oh my god, when he set the microphones, yeah, that like it's written so well and it's casted
Oh,
so well that like it's good. I'm only like 3 episodes in, so I have not watched. I know that there's a month. I
in
think,
March. Yeah.
yeah. So I definitely gonna. So I will say, bravo. I did text
Dragon.
Alex the night I watched it and was like, okay, you're going to be proud of me because Neil's proud of me. I did watch Ted Lasso the first episode. And if you were American and a little bit more buck wild, you would totally be Ted Lasso.
I love it. I love it. I actually love all the characters a ton.
Yes.
But super proud of you, and Dragon sucks now. So, I mean,
No, Dragon,
No,
come on. He'll
I'm not
cave.
gonna watch it just because of
Dragon even
Neil.
likes soccer. He even
I
likes soccer.
know.
That's the thing.
It's
Like,
about
Yeah.
soccer.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Oh,
you
Yeah.
dillweed.
yeah, but it's in the Apple thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can borrow my login to watch.
Well, you can do like that's what he told me. I'm like, well, I'm not poor. I can do it. I just need to know if
I
I
mean,
need
if
to.
that's what it takes. Like,
Well, I'm
Right.
poor.
I think you.
Take it.
That's because you've bought so many baths lately that just like the E keeps going to baths. What else has been going
I would say the big two things for both of you, and this is kind of a bigger thing overall. I love just how interconnected our lives have become and how stuck we are a little bit.
on?
Thanks,
Dragon
Dragon.
Dragon just plays with his boobs every week now. It's his thing. He like
But
grabs them and jumps.
I have a lot of strengths and I have a lot of weaknesses. And I think I bring a lot to the table, but I also think that there's a lot that I don't bring to the table. And I've been working with Chris for couple months now. I started just after Christmas, um, and so which is wild because, like we were saying at the beginning of the podcast, a day is a week. Feels a lot longer than 2 months, but um, there's just some things that like I knew I needed help with immediately that I couldn't do, and I brought Whiskey in right away to say, "Hey, Whiskey, can you help kind of overhaul some stuff with me?" And she graciously accepted and killed it. And we're meeting a lot on a lot of different topics in the background as we continue to look forward, and we really need help with marketing. And so we brought Whiskey on officially on the team as our marketer. What's the right words? I don't word well.
I think is
Marketing manager. Yes, thank
I
you.
think.
Marketing manager. And we have Drill on as a mod who was on the show a while ago, but he's in the military and can't cover it all. I have other jobs, I can't cover it all, and so we were able to bring Dragon in to help moderate our community as well. Not that we're taking him away from the Misfits or Whiskey from the
Yeah.
Misfits. It's not like it's
Yeah.
not an either or. But I'm just really
That's
thrilled to
actually
have both of
something
you.
that's come up. Like people were
Really?
nervous that I was leaving
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
Misfits
Yeah.
to go into Chris Vaughn. Yeah. And I told Alex right after I accepted. And then on Twitter I was like, well, I think he was asleep when it came out, but I was like, well, I probably better at least like let him know, hey, I'm not going anywhere. This doesn't really change anything on my side of things, but um, yeah, I'm excited. I think, and then having Dragon on when Dragon came up in discussion about being a mod, and I'm like, I fully support Dragon being a mod, but if you can't, I will cut you.
I mean, the only reason Dragon wasn't a mod much sooner was just my respect for what Whiskey has going on over the Misfits.
I know.
And the reality is, DeFi elitism and Misfits Discord is a different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, and I love the Misfit Discord. It's really become a place for people to come and just be ridiculous, not in like a ridiculous way, but just to like let off the steam. You know, like to just say what you want to say, to pop off at the mouth, for Blair to come in and give everybody the bird, and thanks
He
for letting
just
me do that to
ruins the
someone.
mood, doesn't he? Like, I mean, Blair just comes in and he knows that he ruins my mood, and so he comes in to purposely ruin it. And it
Yeah.
literally, like yesterday, I was in such a decent, and then Blair comes in. I'm like, he
Yeah.
knows.
But I love that. I love that
I
about the
do.
Misfits
Yeah.
Discord. Goodfoot. A lot of founders come in there just to like hang out, like
Yeah.
and say hi.
It's
Whereas
like a
Chris's
no
Discord,
judgment chill zone. Yeah.
yeah, where Chris's Discord is a little more like workshops and hang out with the dev and you know that kind of thing. And so it's
Yeah.
just a different experience, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's just being on and available, and it doesn't really take anything away from either Discord to have Dragon as a mod, you know, on both, like because it's not like it's
Right.
my Discord isn't flying, nor would I want it to be flying, you know. And
Yeah. Well, and ours is manageable. Right? Once things pick up, you know, there'll be opportunity on our side to add another mod. I don't. Dragon does such a good job though, and I think that's why I was so interested for you too. And he just and with him working nights too.
yeah,
The
exactly.
the time zones just suck. I just hate that because it's like there's always somebody awake and trying to coordinate. And with Dragon working, because I know that I have someone that I trust that's always gonna be there to to help out, and he knows his stuff on both sides.
And on that note, one of the things I really love about Chris
What?
is,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, go ahead, you got it.
No, well, I did try to get the marketing job, but Chris didn't like my poster, so.
That's true. Yeah. Dragon always tries to come for my jobs. When we talk about like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not gonna be CM anymore. Dragon's like, I've got my application ready to go. Like, I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be like one of my best friends. I need to like take over my jobs. And then he comes for the marketing thing. He shared this. He shared
that was
the
pretty
like
good.
glitter booty with the Chris Vaughn stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can't post that on Twitter.
You know, and Dragon's the just so perfect for being a mod. And Whiskey, you're already have been running our Twitter, and when we start looking at some other things we have planned, like you just are so good at marketing already. It's something that you know how to do, and just super excited to have you on that. And one of the things that I really love about Chris, I won't go into too much detail here, but one of the things I do bring to the table is I'm good at seeing where we need to be and helping us get there. Like that's what I'm good at. That's my strength.
Yeah.
And Chris gets all of that. And he gets being really smart and putting the right people in place to so when we do get to where we're going, we have even more strength. And both of you being on the team to me represents planning. Like it's and I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to go into any of that because you just have to be a part of our community and find out. But like to me, you guys being in positions makes my planning more enjoyable and more entertaining at the what how to get to some of our bigger goals as a project. And I want everybody to eat. And Chris and I are the same. Like me and him just like culturally are right on with this. Like we want our family to. It's like a little like what's that Vin Diesel movie? Not Fast and the Furious. Maybe it was Fast and the Furious, where they're like eating dinner at the table and everyone gets come and eat. I think it was Fast and the Furious. Like that mentality. Like we want everyone at the table working hard with us.
That's what I like too. And it's funny because I told Neil, I feel bad for all the people. We're literally everywhere now. You can't go anywhere and not see them. We're
Oh
just
yeah.
always, yeah.
Now I can
Neil,
ban Blair from everything.
I died this morning when you said I can literally ban you in all servers. I'm like, oh shit, he can. That's right. Yeah. Tread lightly, Blair. Yeah. Well, Neil left again, so I can.
I can hear you.
I was gonna talk nice about you, but you came back. Dragon has
Oh,
this
no, you
dog
can't.
toy that does not look like a dog toy. It looks like something from
It's
Adam and Eve, like some kind of butt plug or something. I'm not sure what's happening.
double-sided.
It's terrible.
No,
Double
it's a
sided.
dog toy. I'm
It
pretty
doesn't
sure
look
it's a
like one.
dog toy.
He said he's pretty sure it's a dog toy. It doesn't look like.
You
No,
just you
we
just
were
have to be
talking.
there to believe it sometimes. You know.
We were talking about like Chris and going on, and I just have to say, like, being a community manager, it is a lot of work, and you don't realize the work that goes into it when you say yes. Um, and you've been crushing it. I mean, I will say that like
Hmm?
it's been amazing to sit back with watching you and actually seeing the impact that you've had with Chris. It's
Yep.
you talk about me being inspiring, but you, sir, are you're doing an amazing job. And it's been
Yeah.
awesome to be a part of it and to watch it. And I mean,
That's why he gets the crazy haters, like that come
yeah,
up with shit.
the crazy, yeah. Crazy haters are out there. I've had
Yeah.
them. You've had them. Dragon doesn't seem to get them though, which is a little rude. I find that a little messed up. No, everybody likes Dragon, but no, you're doing a really good job. You really just I don't think you give yourself enough credit. Um, which to be fair, if you talked yourself up all the time, you do a really good job with everything. When we sit in these team meetings, you just get shit done. You come in with a plan and you execute, you get it done, and that's necessary. And I respect that about you. It's really cool to the impact that you're having, movement and acknowledgement.
And that's the goal. You know, the for me the mission isn't self-elevation. It's to how can Chris be as known as possible. And that's gotten me in a little trouble at times because in my enthusiasm to do that, I don't always think about how I'm saying might impact someone else. Um, but that's the goal. Like, I'm best at putting everybody else on stage and giving them the platform. Um, and like I said, I think my talents really are seeing where we need to get and then helping to execute the plan to get there. Um, but Chris really is amazing. I mean, Whiskey's amazing, Dragon's amazing. Like these people need to be in front of people, and so like I wish people were adults. I wish that there was a maturity that's different. Um, I wish that we didn't read into things that I wish a lot of things, but it's it's just for me. I just got to stay on course. It's not about the noise. It's not about
Yeah.
people interpreting this thing or that. It's about what I have in front of me and this podcast and Chris Vaughn being who he is, and you know all that's going in and around my sphere. That's what's in front of me. And you can hope and wish for anything, but we just have to stay focused because we're on to something really close here.
Yeah.
We're on to something big in a couple areas, and I just want to see it done well. So, thank you for your words. I'm trying to receive compliments.
We have our first chaotic exposure choice this Friday that we've
Oh
scheduled.
yeah.
I am so
I'm
excited.
so pumped.
And we've gotten some really good responses from that already. If you look at like how much attention that's gotten, and I'm excited. It's more of like a kind of chaotic exposure live, but also like just come hang out with us. We're gonna play a game of like there's a word that we're not allowed to say, and if we say it, we have to take a shot. Some of the words that have come in, I'm like, yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm not gonna say that. And then other ones are like, oh crap, I can't say that. But to say, yeah. So if you go into that tweet, if you share can't say, we're gonna pick one of those, which we probably could do two if we get, but we're gonna pick a
Got
winner and they're gonna get an NFT from.
You have a couple good NFTs picked out. Oh, I owe you a picture of that too. Um,
Yeah.
the NFTs that we picked out for this space, one of them's mine and one of them's Whiskey's. Uh, It's very fitting for chaotic exposure.
They really are. Should we
They're
say
so
what they
good.
are, or should they just?
I think we can say what they are.
So I think I've talked about on the podcast the ass that I bought on. So one of the winners is gonna get Whiskey's ass, which is not really my ass, but it's my. Neil has. What do you have that you're
I
gonna be
won
buying?
this. I won it actually from Chris Vaughn long time ago
Oh
before I
my
was
god.
ever on this project. And I won this NFT from him, and it's an amber turd.
Which
Oh
can
my
we just appreciate the combination of an ass and a turd? I mean, that's if it's not funny, you don't belong in our. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. Can we call it nipple bows and nut knockers?
Yes, I think that would be perfect. That would be a perfect space. I think I called
I'm
it
so
like
pumped.
shots with the chaotic crew, but I think nipple.
I'm so excited for that space. Like for me, we have our community spaces that we've run on all the sides of the coin, but this is like for our show. This is going to be an opportunity for our listeners, you all of you out there, to come in, hang out with us for a little while. Tell us what you've enjoyed. Tell us what you've hated. Tell us what you want to see. Hang out, like ask questions. Get us just like that. Like this podcast, when we described it, it's just this like raw access to Web3 and to our lives in Web3, and we're gonna just literally have an entire space where you can come in and yeah, have real life access, and just like what this podcast is.
Yeah,
Oh
So I'm really
yeah.
excited for it. It's gonna be a lot of
yeah,
fun and chaotic.
and
Yeah,
chaotic.
bunch of craziness.
Just a random. Should be. Yeah,
What
and
else could
with
you want,
giveaways,
really?
and I don't know. And honestly, if there's other game, we could play other games while we're in there. But I just think it's kind of fun to have a chill out and like get feedback. And I will say one of the bits of feedback that I continue when we have guests that come on, when I coordinate and get with them on the schedule and like invite them in, or we talk, um, we start talking, they're nervous to come on. But then after they're done, they get so like they love it. They're like, "Oh, I had so much fun," and
Oh.
Yeah, I've gotten that feedback too from guests and people that listen. They just really enjoy what we're doing, and so I'm excited to do that with you live and somewhere that's a little less intense. And so Friday night,
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm gonna be at
he's the
work,
best.
but I can do it.
Just don't
I
die
can
on the.
join the craziness. I'll
There's
have
a new
my kombucha
candidate.
chocolate milk ready.
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh,
There's
I'm
a.
so sorry. Ford saw like my room that I do podcasts in can look down and see that he acts like he tough shit and wants to growl and look at it. So, what else is going on? Anything else?
Yeah, it looks like a couple of new candidates for prison came in on OpenSea here while we've been recording, and let me tell you, there's some candidates that need to get locked up.
Uh oh. Oh my gosh. The fro is so good, and the button eyes. Oh my god, those are amazing though. Like, there's a Baz that just got listed, and he has like I call it the Alex Hawaiian shirt, a shirt that Alex wore like in Bali. It's like this ridiculous Hawaiian shirt, but then he's got like the little motorcycle helmet and face, and then there's one with like button eyes, which is my favorites, and the fro is just
Anyways, some good candidates for the prison though, I'd say, especially
yeah.
that one with the vest. He can get locked up.
I'm
Gas
just
just needs to calm.
yeah, I guess it's become crazy. But then who knows what's going on with OpenSea? If it's slowly dying or what? The
I mean, if
blurs
they come
with
out with
it.
a coin, it's gonna go crazy, and hopefully, with all of our use of it, we'll get some of those coins, like those guys did on Blur.
Have you
So that's
used
pretty
Blur?
sick. I tried. I don't. Honestly, I don't like the experience. I don't.
Yeah, same. Same.
Maybe I'm just old now, and change is hard. But also, it's a little unethical. Like you can actually work around creator fees on Blur, um, and it's actually kind of fascinating because the data is showing basically like over 80% of people, given the choice to pay the creator fee or not, don't pay the creator fee, and that's really sucky because you know these are small companies a lot of the time. Not all of them, you know. I guarantee the NFTs that we're giving away in the space are not companies, but some of these really are, and so I don't love some of the things with Blur, but I gotta respect it. It's taking a good chunk of the market share, and people are getting really good deals on Blur, better than OpenSea, and their gas experience is better. It's just the UI UX. I don't have to talk like this. I can stop. Um, that I
But
don't enjoy.
it's kind of a good thing because that way OpenSea can start changing, like getting
Yeah,
better,
yeah,
and that would
um,
be amazing.
yeah. But anyways, I think what time? How long have we been going? We should probably stop talking.
37.
Yeah, I think we're good to stop. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have our guests come in today.
Hmm.
I'm actually really we're on Crypto Bros podcast recently. It's funny because we actually got with them, and then once they were on Crypto Bros, I'm like, okay, well, let me watch and see what can we do that's different. Yeah, let's let's get our
I
guests.
wonder if they show up in pirate ships.
I told them to bring their rum, so they'll definitely be on our.
Awesome. Okay, let's go get them.
Let's go get some pirate booty.
So let's get into it. So we've got Merc and Tim from High Seas Pirates. Um, thanks for coming on. We were talking before we started recording that we've been wanting to have you guys on. We've been kind of watching what you guys are doing from the side, and we're impressed. So,
Awesome.
so let's kind of dive in. Um, you guys are working on a NFT project, but there's multiple layers there. It's not just your typical NFT project. It's called High Seas Pirates. What can you tell listeners and us about what you guys are working on?
Tim, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll let you go, and then I'll take it the next question.
Okay. Yeah, so well, it started off with Tim, Drew, and myself coming together last year. We've known each other for a while in the space, investing in other projects, kind of trying to catch the different waves in DeFi because it does come in waves. There's some things are popular, some things are not popular, and as Tim said, there were some of these projects that we came into that they were just fads. They were here for a little bit, came in at the wrong time, didn't make it. You lose everything because the project shuts down, etc. So the whole idea behind High Seas Pirates was to create an economy, a player-owned economy that the community was involved in from the implementation of the economy and the governance of the economy, because we didn't want to have, like he said earlier, we didn't want to have centralized systems in place where a small core team can just shut down shop and move on, because it's just painful whenever you're investing time. It's really not even about the money at that point. It's like the time that you invest in these projects, and then all of a sudden they shut down. You can make the money back, but time is our most valuable asset. So time is the number one thing that we focus on when we're developing our ecosystem. We want to reward people for their time through healthy engagement, social engagement, and entertainment. So we want to provide an entertaining experience. And the pirate theme came about because we just were sitting around and thinking about a theme that would work best, and it just kind of hit us that we are pirates. Anyone who's in DeFi right now is a pirate. If you think about what a pirate is, back in the day, they were people who were tired of centralized rule from local monarchs and stuff like that. So they went off and looked for their own way in life. And so sometimes they had to do some crazy stuff out on the open seas, but for the most part, pirates banded together. They formed crews, and they had a very nice governance model within their own little ecosystem. Everyone on the ship earned a fair share. Everyone had their input, and the captain that led the ship, he wasn't in full control. If he wasn't doing the right thing, they'd mutiny him. They'd stick him on an island with a pistol and one shot and say, "See ya. We'll go find another person to follow." So we like that idea. We like the idea that even though we're the captains, if we're not doing something right, our community has the ability to, to voice their concerns. And if me, Tim, and Drew end up getting marooned on the island, well, I guess it was meant to be.
Let's hope
We weren't
not.
doing our job. Yeah, we weren't doing our job,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the idea. So we were going to start off with a token initially. But after doing a lot of research, we're like, you know what? Everyone starts off with a token. Let's do something different. Most DeFi projects start off with a token. NFTs have always been a like a side passion of mine. Just mainly just I had been wanting to build one myself. Tim and Drew, same thing. Just kind of we weren't really like deep diving into NFTs at the time, but we kind of came to the conclusion that the NFT community is the best way to get a community to to huddle around one brand or one thing that we all can go forward with. So that was the idea with the NFT. Is let's start with an NFT. Let's do something different that most DeFi projects aren't doing, and let's build a community around this brand, and then utilize that NFT to give people a voice to dictate how we build out this project. And so the High Seas Pirates was born.
Yeah, we
That's
got
awesome.
into this a little bit with Karen from Flinch last week, and just like the strategicness of that to me is so smart because you can build a community of 1,000 or 4,000 or even 10,000 NFTs, and I really bought in. I think a lot of projects, and this isn't me at all talking about a specific project. There's a lot of like crypto projects out there that do tokens. They should have been an NFT. There's not a reason for them to have a token. Like,
Right.
and I think you can like the Misfits. One of the things they're doing is building out a token that will be a reward system for their holders from their manga sales. That makes sense to me. There's a
Right.
reason for that token to exist. I
Right.
think people just like the idea of having a project. They launch a token and they might have some good ideas. I'm not like again, I'm not knocking them, but what they really should have, what they could have accomplished would have been far greater with an NFT because that's just so much more like stake ownership of what you're doing. Like this is my piece of this, and I'm putting my
Brand. Yeah.
money into it with the hopes it'll be valuable. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and,
Right.
and it's different. It's different than trading on Pancake Swap. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I love that. I think it's super smart, and that's how you build a good. Is an NFT project just has a leg up to a cryptocurrency every day.
Right.
Um,
Right.
you can't
Yeah.
have you can't have 2 million holders and expect to have a great community in that. You know what I mean? Like you might have some good people in it, but like when you're all in it together and you have a 4,000 piece collection and you're going to have what cryptocurrencies companies have, but it's on a much smaller scale and it's a much more like tight knit scale. And I love that. That's one of I'm far more excited about an NFT collection in theory than a crypto collection when we're talking about building out a company. And that kind of leads me to my question. Um,
Yep.
you guys have, I mean, listening to you guys talk about what you're trying to build and what you have been building, and um, it's ambitious. I mean, just to be honest, like it's an ambitious plan. It's exciting to listen to. And I wanted to just kind of ask, like, now that you kind of gave us like the concept, what do you fast forward 10 years and High Seas is ever you've built out everything you've planned to build. It's still iterating and evolving and doing all of that, but like, what do you hope to see? Like, what does that look like? You know what I mean? Like, what are you hoping is going to be there and in place?
Right. I
Sure.
think that's a great question. If you want, I'll take this, Merc. So I guess where we'll end up in 10 years will dictate what the community wants, right? Because we want to build something that the community wants to see come forward. And I think that's one of the most important things that we were thinking of when we started building this project. We do have a plan 5 years out of where we want to take things and stuff. And if people wanted to see that, they can look into our white papers. But I think where we'll end up in 10 years is how strong the community forms around this and where they dictate us and tell us they want us to go. When we got into this, right, we wanted to do a DeFi project and we wanted to do an NFT project. And we knew the most important thing behind both of them is the community. And we want to make sure that they have a voice when we're building out the projects. So we're starting very basic with our gamified aspect of it. right down to the point where it's like Oregon Trail. You know, right when you remember you first got into gaming, it's like the very first game you ever played, you died to dysentery a bunch of times. But it's one of those things is where we start off small, like the very first gaming part. And as we grow our community and our ecosystem, the community says, okay, let's move on to like a Super Mario Brothers game next. Let's move on to like a Super Mario World next. Let's move on to a Mario 64 next. And we slowly work our way up. And as we're building out the games, the community says, let's name this building this. Let's name these bad guys this. Let's name this island this. Let's name this ship this. We can all do it together. And as we're playing the game and as we're engaging, we're earning and growing the ecosystem. And that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to build this, is to give the people the power to build this community-owned ecosystem and token. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get in this, is we wanted to solve the problem with people not being heard and people not being able to give their opinions, because there's a lot of great people in this space. They just need to be given a voice.
Right. And
I
then
love that.
I was gonna say, to add on to that, like there's most communities in crypto right now, they lack a structure for giving that feedback, especially with tokenized economies, where there's no people are self-appointed leaders, right? They'll just kind of jump in spaces, they'll create their space, and people will build up an influence and a following. But then they're kind of following these people and these people have no real connection to the actual developers, right? And so you get like misinformation. So with this NFT style community, what we're doing is the people who own the NFTs. It doesn't just stop there. You don't just own the NFT. You have access to tools, resources, grants, things that we're going to be putting in place to empower people to step up to really be leaders of this and real true brand ambassadors for the High Seas Pirates. And so to me, what does 10 years look like? 10 years, in 10 years from now, I see people that have come through our community. They have gained following through the governance model and prop themselves up and have created their own mini games or their own you know, Web3 businesses with inside the High Seas ecosystem and umbrella, by utilizing the resources that we're providing, by utilizing the tools that we'll be building for the community. So it's not just about people coming in and holding, but it's about empowering those people to be more than just an investor, right? We want them to be builders. We want them to be innovators. I'm a very big gamer. I grew up playing Warcraft. I never played World of Warcraft, but I did play Warcraft, the strategy-based game.
Oh, so
And
good.
right,
So
and in
good.
that game, what I take from that game is they had a game. The game, when you installed the game on your PC, it came with a world editor, and you could create your own mini games within their game with their assets. And one of my favorite games that came from that was Dota. Dota 2, which is its own standalone game now, but it was just a mini game at one point on another platform. Have you guys ever played PUBG?
Yeah.
Play or you guys played Fortnite, right? I've heard of Fortnite. That's probably the most popular one.
Yeah.
So Fortnite is a style of game that came from Arma 2, which is this big military style game, which is kind of boring for the average person, but with inside that they were able to create this little mini version of a game where, you know, as you're playing, the boundary got smaller and smaller and forced people to fight each other. And then people took that model, and that's how they created Fortnite and all these other games. So in the gaming community, it's not necessarily the case that new things are being created all the time, but people are utilizing their assets to create other versions of the game. And so High Seas Pirate, we want to position ourselves to give our community and our gamers the ability to do so, to be creative and utilize our assets and go in all kinds of directions, you know.
I gotta
So
ask.
it's basically like a DAO, a game
We
that's
call
a
we
DAO.
call it a DAG, decentralized autonomous guild.
Nice.
Instead of an
Okay,
organization,
nice.
we're a guild because
That's
we're gaming,
awesome.
right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
See,
I'm excited.
that's one of the things that I think drew me into watching you guys a little bit closely. There's a lot of similarities between what you're doing and what the Misfits are doing. Not on the same level, but the community engagement and the benefits of being a holder and having that DAO-like process. You guys have one thing I started following closely was I don't know if it was Tim or if it was the official Twitter that does it, but there's these tweets that come out about community. Obviously, as a community manager, that's huge to me. That's what I pay attention to. That's what matters because without your community, you're absolute shit. I'm
Right.
being honest.
Right.
You have to build that
Yep.
community. You have to nurture that community, and you have to just follow through with it because you can start out really good, but if you're not maintaining that, then you start to lose people. And so I guess with that, as your community continues to grow, what are you hoping for with your community? What would you like to see from your community as you're building it?
We would like to see them advance in this space. Like what Merc was saying, we're going to give them the opportunities to be able to build their own projects and stuff, but also give them the opportunity to invest and have fun in this space. Not financial advice, but invest in something that is set up for them and not necessarily for the people on top. And I think that's one of the things that we want to focus on is that this is going to be like, everyone rises together, not just one person. And
Like
that was
pirates.
yeah, exactly. We can't do it alone, and we want everyone to be rewarded. And that's why the token that we built for our ecosystem is just mainly to give back to the people of the ecosystem. It is a forever appreciating stable token, and there is no supply of it. So if you want it, you buy it and you hold it, and every time people interact with it, the fee that goes in and out goes back into the LP 100%. So no one makes any money off it except for the people that are holding and that use it. That's it. And we wanted to make sure that that was something that we focused on. So if everyone holds it together and everyone uses it together, then the price just goes up. No one gets dev bags. There are no supply. So the only way that you can get it is if you buy it, and the second you sell it, it's destroyed. So I think that's
Wow.
one of the cool. Yeah, it's a really cool concept, and it isn't ours originally. We saw it in this space, and we wanted to find the best things in this space and bring them together for our community. So when they're interacting and they're playing the game and they're earning these tokens, they're just like, wait a second, some whale didn't come in, buy a lot of it, play the game super hard, and then just wreck everyone when he earned a lot of the tokens by selling it. If that guy came in and did that and sold the tokens, then everyone in the ecosystem, all the price would rise. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to build this token. And that's why it's completely decentralized,
That's
except for the fee going in and out. That is controlled by the community. So if they want to lower the fee going in and out, they can lower it, and if they want to raise it, they can raise it. But that isn't something that we control without their input. But we cannot touch the LP. It's completely locked. It goes right into the contract, and 100% goes there, and we don't make a penny off it. So that's why we wanted to build this system for everybody, is so that they can have a place to go, that they can invest, they can have fun with their friends, and they don't have to wake up in the morning with that feeling like, oh man, I'm down 50% overnight. We want to make sure that they have that feeling where they can just go to it and they're not going to have that disappointment. Because there is no fun when you're losing money, right? It's only when you're making it.
You're creating you're creating an opportunity for someone to fall in love with a franchise and actually be able to do something interesting with it. Like a lot of these video games, like Diablo Immortal, like it was just a massive cash grab and it didn't benefit anyone. Like if they were utilizing a structure like that, they're actually building into themselves. Now, imagine how much more Immortal could have made doing something like that and having the paid items. I mean, it's a really cool concept. But I have to go to Merc and ask him a question because he brought up one of my favorite of all time games. The only game I like more than Warcraft is Sid Meier's Civilization. Yes?
Oh, I love
No?
Civ.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a great game. Oh, I love
I
it.
love Civ. I have
which number?
all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But 5 is
Beautiful.
my favorite.
Rightfully
5 is
so.
my
I
favorite.
really loved playing 2, but I like 6 just as fine.
Do you ever play the pirate version? He's got a pirate one too.
I don't know that I have, but I will have to now that I know because I love his stuff and I've been playing it since I was 12 years old. But the serious question then, now that you've gained even more respect for me, is why Polygon? And just for everyone that doesn't know, Polygon is a alternative blockchain to Ethereum, which the projects that myself, Whiskey, and Dragon work for are on Ethereum. And so Polygon is an alternative blockchain, just for the brief description.
So Polygon, Polygon kind of resonates with our core values, which is they're not out to create something new. They're just out to improve something that already exists. So their layer 2 solution is to solve some of the issues that Ethereum has with gas fees and accessibility for people who can't afford to operate on that economy.
And
And we're
speed
not
too.
trying to, yeah, and speed, right. And we're not trying to come into the DeFi and NFT space and just completely, claim that we're innovating something that's never been done before. All we're doing is we're saying, hey, we're grabbing pieces of different systems that are already in the works, and we're putting them together in a way that'll benefit everyone long term. And so that's kind of the main reason why we chose Polygon. And the other reason is obviously because of the gas fees. And we do a lot of research on trends and stuff. And since last year, kind of already knew that Polygon was going to be one of the next biggest chains coming, or chains to improve, especially with their ZK EVM, the zero knowledge EVM that they're releasing here in the next like 35 days, which essentially says we can take all the transactions that come in, roll them up to the Ethereum chain, and so you get the same security from Ethereum, but with the lower gas fees. And so I think what you'll see is a lot of people on Ethereum who already have very popular projects and systems and platforms. They're just going to migrate over to Polygon because it's going to be a quick copy paste. And it's not because they're leaving the Ethereum blockchain, but because in order for us to bring on the next wave of adoption, we have to lower the barrier of entry for people. And so the barrier of entry on Ethereum, it's high. The gas fees are high. The everyday working man like myself, you can't really afford the gas fees on a daily basis. And that's the other key thing for us. In order for us to reward people for their engagement and entertainment, we have to keep them coming back to the platform on a daily basis, and they need to be interacting with the blockchain in order for it to be decentralized. And the only way we're going to be able to accomplish that is either Solana, Binance, or Polygon, or AVAX. And we analyzed all of those chains. We even sat down with some people from the Binance team. At one point, they were trying to encourage us to build on their platform because they
really
were
wanted
wanting.
us.
And we kind of sat down and said, you know what? No one's encouraging us to go to Polygon, but we know in our
Like a
gut that's the
pirate.
right place to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
right,
know
it's good.
in the right that's the right place to go. So that's where we
Yeah.
went. And it just started. It was crazy because we approached some projects for collabs last year, and they're like, oh, we're not on the Polygon chain. Have you guys ever heard of like DGods and Utes, which is
Yeah.
the biggest collection on Solana? We had approached them last year because they have a really cool platform called Scholarships, which helps curate your community, and we really wanted to utilize them. It's like in a more advanced form of pre-mint, like an allowless platform that helps you curate your community or give away whitelist spots, etc. But this one goes a little more in depth, and it helps you really understand the people that are applying. You get more intimate information from them that as they want to volunteer that information. Because when you're building an NFT community, it's not just about giving anybody a whitelist spot. It's about giving people who want to be in Web3, who want to grow the space, who want to help grow the brand. So that platform works, but they were not on Polygon. They're only on Solana, and that was like September, October. And then roll around to December, end of December, going into January, they DM us and say, "Hey, I don't know if you guys spoke it into existence or what, but we're migrating our entire collection to Polygon. We're migrating use to Polygon, and we're migrating DGods to ETH, which is massive, right? Because the Polygon, I think their volume, I can't remember how many millions it is, but their
19 million.
DGods, yeah,
It's
the
insane.
DGods collection is insane too. It's like 20 grand for a DGods.
Right.
So it's just little things like that. They started coming about, and it's like, man, we made the right decision. People were starting to see what we saw last year in May when we first made this decision to go on Polygon. And it was tough. I'll tell you, it was very tough the very first few months because everyone kept asking, why Polygon? Why Polygon? Like, what's Polygon doing? Why would you? You guys have a nice network on Binance. You guys know a lot of people on the BSC chain. Why would you fight against that and go to Polygon? Well, it's not about just launching something because we know people on the Binance chain. We're thinking about the longevity of this project, So we've been fighting that uphill battle, but it's starting to pay off.
Yeah, and I think people found out that we were building on Polygon, like Pepsi and Meta and all these other giant corporations like Doritos and Nike and Reebok and Adidas, and Starbucks and DraftKings. They all
Starbucks.
started signing deals. Disney, they all started signing deals with Polygon right after we thought we should go on Polygon. We're like, huh, they must have
Amazon.
heard us. Yeah, Amazon.
I mean,
Yep,
it's come
another
up.
one.
It's come up in my conversations with my founder in the project that I work for, because he does digital wearables that are linked to real life merch, and like the claim, like, do we cross a chain to make that, because it's a good business decision too. Like,
Hmm.
you're making it easier to function,
Yeah.
like, to even, like you said, reward people daily, in a creative way. That's going to be tough to do in Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like, there's just
Right.
there's a barrier there.
It
The
is for
only
now.
But
issue I have on Polygon is swapping. Like I bought some
Yeah.
NFT for on Polygon, and I always forget how I do it. And I'm pretty sure I heard Tim talking about something about having a swap
Wait,
in
are
the
you swapping tokens or NFTs?
like
Ethereum to
swapping
Poly
ETH,
Oh, okay.
yeah, to Polygon.
Yeah, so
on
we
OpenSea.
on OpenSea, you're doing the swap.
I
He's buying them
I've,
on
I've
OpenSea,
done
but
it
he's
on
trying.
OpenSea and I've done it on
Okay.
What's up,
Yeah.
Whiskey? You
I
flicking us
always
off?
forget the way I do it.
She's like, "Fuck you guys."
No,
We'll let you
I'm
go
not.
ahead. You can say something now. We'll give you the floor since you put the sign up.
No, what sign? My
She
middle
didn't even
finger?
realize she was doing it, Merc.
It just happens. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
sometimes it happens. Usually if I'm gonna flip somebody off, I'll throw it right in the camera. I'm not shy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she goes for it. Yeah,
But
there's
Tim
lots
has
of
a
different
really good
ways
video.
to cross chain over. But once again, when you're leaving Ethereum and you're going to Polygon, you're gonna get hit with those fees swapping over.
Mhm.
I remember when I first bought Polygon, I bought it through Coinbase and I didn't realize it was on Ethereum. And then by the time I took $200 worth of Polygon on Ethereum and swapped it over to Polygon Network, it was only worth $125. I lost $75 in the transaction.
Oof.
But that was because I had to pay for those gas fees on Ethereum. And at the time, I didn't realize that it was just one of the worst times to do transactions during the day on Ethereum, because obviously when you do your transactions on Ethereum, you should do them later at night. And this is before they moved to E2, to the proof of stake. So things were a little bit more expensive back then. And they have come down a lot. So that's one of the cool things that Ethereum was able to do, is make them faster. So they're not as fast as Polygon, but to make their transactions faster, but also to bring down your gas fees. But here's one of the sad things about that transaction. My first transaction, I was like, oh man, I'm losing $35 to do the Polygon ETH to Polygon, and the transaction failed. So I spent $35 on a failed transaction.
Oh no.
Nice.
Oh, it burned.
My
It
my
burned.
biggest complaint with Polygon, and it's so stupid, and it's just me, and it's a me problem, and I think I've even told it to Tim before. Like, what were they thinking naming this? Like, they could have
Ethereum or
done
Polygon?
so
Polygon?
much. Polygon. It's like the
Oh,
worst
Polygon.
brand name ever. Like,
They're
Well-
rebranding actually.
good. They need to.
Are
Like,
they?
it's
Are
like,
they
But
changing
I
it?
don't know. I don't know if they're rebranding away from Polygon. They're rebranding away from Matic. Their token's gonna change names.
good? Because that's that's
So-
Yeah.
confusing. It's like,
Yeah, it
why are
is
we calling it a
confusing.
Pokemon, and why is your coin called Matic? Like, I've never been.
Yeah,
a fan
they're
of how they
rebranding that
name.
part. If
But
you go to
that's
their
such a
main
dumb
website,
reason, like, to not be excited about the blockchain. For the record, like,
Yeah.
this was not.
Well,
But
that means you're
you're
early,
not the
right?
only
They
person.
haven't even gotten to that stage yet of figuring that out. That's how early we are in this space, to see them
Totally.
come from these name problems and grow into
Right.
this giant, massive blockchain. So,
the other thing is, you're not the only one. First of all, Neil, and that's why they're rebranding. But it's one of the most innovative things that the country of India has been producing, right? Like their community. So they have over 1 billion people. As it integrates more into their economy, I think we're going to see a really big wave. That's why we've been talking about this purple wave, because it's everywhere right now. There's just a lot of people talking about it, and it's not because they're hyping it up, but it's because they're bringing real use cases and real accessibility to the community, and bringing more people in from Web 2, which is what we need right now. It's what we
Right.
need to continue focusing on, you know. And I'm a very big advocate for that. We don't need mass adoption like today, but we just need to be making steps towards that, towards making it easier. Because I think if people flood in all at once, that's how it's just too much.
Totally.
People get wrecked. They leaves a bad taste in their mouth. You can think of anyone that comes in during the bull market at the all-time highs. They're usually the ones that are the biggest flooders because they came in so fast, they got wrecked so violently, and they don't want to ever touch it again. And I know a lot of people like that. I've told friends about crypto, especially when crypto was pumping, and now they don't even want to talk to me about crypto.
Yep.
So,
That was a fun Thanksgiving. So,
so we don't want mass
We all had
adoption to
it.
happen overnight.
Yeah.
But we think gaming will solve this because gaming is just an easy way to. Neil's gone.
That happens. We just
Gaming's
keep on
an
without
easy
him.
way to introduce people. So you get it's gamifying things helps people learn in an easier way. It's easier to learn while you're being entertained, and I think that's why you see a lot of platforms these days. Even in Web 2, they're creating these little mini game models to help people understand their products and services. So it's definitely something we key in on.
I think too, when you're talking about ETH and all this stuff, like I think a lot of us now have seen and experienced the ETH gas prices right now. I mean, they have been outrageous.
Even after the upgrade.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I feel like it's worse actually.
Yeah.
For us right now, we're working on our Nemesis, and the way that we did it this time is we minted them and then we're airdropping them to our holders, which has been absolute shit because we're taking, you have to plan that properly according to gas to do all those airdrops. And if you're just like sending them out, you have nothing left to fund what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I think we've all been experiencing that. And then I think Gwei was like, what was it? Something stupid last week, like 800 or something ridiculous. And it was going to cost me like 80 some dollars just to do one transfer of an NFT. So I think we've all been experiencing that enough now to where there's maybe that broader understanding of why there's projects being done on different networks and stuff. Like you have to just keep adjusting. And so I think people have experienced that to where it's understood more. But I wanted to kind of go back a little bit to the team that you have. Team is huge for me too. I mean, Dragon and Neil know I'm on 3 different teams, and if your team isn't strong, it's just gonna struggle. And so I kind of want to know, when you were building your team and figuring out who you wanted on this journey, what were some of your biggest requirements or things that you wanted to have with you when you were deciding who was going to go with you on this?
one of my biggest requirements was, do they want to be rich? If they want to be rich, then we're not going to be in it for the right reasons. We want to build in this space and give ourselves the opportunity to build a company in here, to work for the company, to work for our community. But if you're just in here to get rich quick and get out, then that's not something we want. And I think that's one of the main focuses that I had, and also honesty, integrity. Like I know Merc, I would trust this guy with my seed phrased on my wallets. You know what I mean? When you have that kind of trust with the people that you have around you, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like I completely trust that guy over there.
But sweeping
you,
floors.
You still can't. Yeah, stop sweeping everyone's floors with my wallets. But yeah,
Just
keep
keep going, man.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
It's the core values. We all have the same core values, that we're in this to better the Web3, right? Because the cool thing about all of us is we are all on these different projects, and we all just got wiped out, and all these different projects. And the cool thing about these projects, not that we were wiped out, is that we all were able to see the good things that these projects had before they decided they were going to just kill the community, right? And that was one of the things, is like they needed to be experienced, they needed to have the same core values, but they also had to be able to see the good in projects, even if they failed, and be able to take those so we can put them together into our own. And
Right.
I think that's why we built such a good core team with everyone, is like everyone that we have on our team right now just sees the long-term vision of growing an actual company in Web3. Because like we were all saying, people that came in during the bull market that got wrecked and that are fudding it right now, they got they got into those projects that kind of burned us all, right? And I'm sure every one of you guys probably got into something and said, "Oh, damn, that was a bad idea," And we want to make sure that when people come back to it, that those projects obviously are a thing of the past. That projects that are more focused on building the community and making sure the community is rewarded by being there, they're the ones that survive this bear market, and they're the ones that are the true leaders when the bull market starts coming back.
Yeah, and that's something I think that's happening right now. There's almost like there's been just a lot of it's been fun to see. We've been talking about this a little bit, like some of the community that's in the projects that I'm in are shared. There's a lot of the people that are getting that have kind of found out their way to your project, and there just seems to be like this like group of projects that are trying to actually build something that has a reason to exist. I myself was on a core team of a token that got totally just sold out a few different times, and there's just no feeling like that. By the way, like it sucks. You guys felt it. You lived that. Like what it looks like and feels like to just be like screwed. You can kind of just get screwed and like
Right.
hey, it's like someone bought you is what it feels like. Like you were sold. You gave somebody the ability to make a lot of money with your time, and not that it's even about money. That's not even why you were in the project to begin with. Because one thing I love about you guys is your outlook, like the why of why you pick pirates, the desire to see decentralized effort, transparency, like the core values of what DeFi is something you guys hold on to. And Tim, I followed you for quite a long time, and one of the reasons I connected with your content early days was because that came through to me. Like you were like, look at what this technology can represent. And when you part of the projects that the bad actors, it's a gut punch. I mean, it took me a couple months to recover from the last one. You know what I mean? Like it just took some time. Because it sucks. Nobody wants to go through that. But what I love seeing is this like we're not partners. We're not, but we do represent what good can look like, and that's something I'm really excited to see take shape. I can comment on that, but I also am interested to know. I mean, I'm not on your team, and I get asked this. Win Mint, I have to ask it. You know what I mean? Like, Win Mint.
Win Mint, yes.
Win
well,
Mint.
that's one of the things we are waiting for our community to grow bigger, right? Because we don't want to like launch this project if we don't have the right amount of people behind us wanting to see it happen. And so we are waiting to make sure that but we're going to start doing some really cool things in our Discord, which we believe that are going to start building up our community. We have a lot of things coming up in the future, which I feel are going to, but it's a lot easier to hype something up and then get people excited to buy into your project than it is to be honest and open and say, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Cause it's not as exciting. If you're going to tell people, oh, you're going to 10X your, token overnight. We're going to the moon. It's like we're technically probably not going to go to the moon with our token, right? But the price is always going to go up, and we don't own the token. So if anything ever happens to our project, the token will always be owned by the community, and the price will always keep going up. So I think that's one of the cool differences between ours and like some other projects that are like centralized when it comes to the token. But yeah, overall, we want to make sure that there's that stability in the market, so when people get in there, they feel comfortable.
Yeah. So the launch, it's not just about like we have all the NFTs already. I think you have it on Pinata. I'm not sure if you already listed it there,
it's
but
all
we could
IPFS is in there.
Yeah, we could launch it and just start selling them and work it. But we would be doing our holders a disservice if we don't position our community to be successful to mint out. Because the last thing you want is launching NFT collections when the community is not ready. Because then you have this stagnant period where nothing is going on, right? And then you can't really deliver the extra experiences that you want to deliver along the way. So it's not just about, let's just launch it so we can start grabbing some money and, which some projects will do that. They'll launch it, they'll use some of the money coming in and they start to like try to snowball it. But it's not, in our opinion, it's not worth it to do it that way. We grow our community first because the community is who we're doing this for to begin with. And it allows us to approach our marketing from an organic perspective. We did try with some other marketing last year, got burned big time, you know, because it literally rugged us for $5,000, you know.
Yeah. that
So
hurt.
and
It
got
hurt.
nothing for it aside from one of the coolest experiences in Discord ever, which is like 12,000 people flooding in and 12,000 people getting kicked within I don't remember how many minutes because we set up a really aggressive. These
Yeah.
guys try to bot our Discord with a bunch of with a giveaway bot. Essentially, that giveaway bot just pulls people in because you signed up to be part of that bot, and you're giving them permission to pull you into their Discords. And that's not what we paid them for. We paid for targeted marketing through different channels, right? But what happened was Ethereum took a dip. We paid them in Ethereum. Ethereum went from like $1,700 to $1,000, and they came back to us and like, we need more money. We're like, no, you're not getting more money. You should have
Right.
converted it to stablecoin or something. And so they just sent whatever they could. They just botted the crap out of our Discord, and we knew it was going to happen. So we set up some really good bot measures and kicked them. And so that was pretty cool. You saw people
Yeah,
flooding
it was
in, and
just
just
my
as fast.
phone was blowing up with the people getting kicked from the channel. I mean, it's one of those learning experiences, right?
Yeah. It was pretty fun to watch $5,000 come and go that quick, but
Well, I think
so we learned.
all
I was
the
gonna
money
say, what we
invested into
learned.
our project comes from us personally. You know, we are
Yeah.
investing in our community. It's coming out of our own bank accounts. Like, we are not taking anything from anyone. We are investing in our community because we can see the value in them. So that's why we're investing in them, and we're giving them this value by coming into our Discord with the games that we're providing them and the things that we're going to start giving away within our Discord is because we believe in them. We're investing in our community now. Before we even make any money with the mint coming up, we want to show them that they are valuable to us and that they are the reason why we can even do this. So that's one of the things we want to focus on before we do Win Mint, is to make sure that the people realize how much we care for them and how much we're investing in them so they can want to invest in us as we grow this community.
Oh, where are you guys from? Whenever you asked that question to begin, you guys are in the U.S.
Yeah, all of us. We're spread out.
You guys too?
So yeah.
I'm
on East Coast. Are you on the West Coast?
I'm East Coast.
You're
I'm
East
in
Coast?
Texas. I'm on the Texas coast.
So Dragon's in California.
Cali.
So we're all spread out. Yeah.
Hey.
And then Neil's in, where are you at?
Neil's in the
The
North
winter
Pole.
advisory. The winter advisory
Podunk
today
Towns.
said historic snowstorm.
It's a historic snowstorm.
Oh,
I
really?
hate when they use the word historic. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's always historic.
Yeah.
I'm in
did you
Minnesota.
guys
If you can hear me.
Okay.
bring any alcohol with you, by the way? Did you bring something?
I did not.
I brought.
Tim probably did.
Mark, I
No,
told
I-
you.
I had to drive
No,
and get my car inspected, so I did not have time to grab alcohol.
Don't you have a
Bliss.
beer keg in your basement?
Horrible story. I officially finished 5 gallons of beer yesterday, so
Oh,
That's
I got
awesome.
nothing
What
left.
an achievement.
not
He's
in
a
one
brewer.
day. Not in
What
one
an
day, but
achievement.
I don't
Um,
drink, so
Bravo. Dragon doesn't normally either,
I brew
but we
beer too.
kind of converted him. So
fantastic.
yeah. I'll
I
tell
don't
my
have
wife,
a
I was
keg
like,
yet.
do we have any alcohol? She's like, there's nothing that you would want to drink. I was like, oh, okay, never mind that.
so can we go into like some fun stuff?
Sure.
'Cause I feel like we kind of go through and get to know our guests and the projects they're on, but then we kind of want to like get to expose you a little bit more on a personal level. So boxers or briefs? No, I'm just kidding.
We did this already.
Boxers.
I mean, boxers all day. Clearly.
I do boxers. Or
It wasn't
briefs.
really my question. I was just
If you
yeah.
want to
you got
know
an
whiskey,
answer.
it's briefs.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, so let's do. I'm sorry. Let's do Desert Island. Okay, you guys are on this
Ooh.
pirate, so let's do Desert Island. So
Okay.
if you were on a desert island and you only had 3 movies, what would those 3 movies be?
Mm,
Ooh.
3 movies. Tim's a movie guy. He'll know right off the top of his head. I gotta think about this.
I know one would be Pulp Fiction for sure.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Big Lebowski would be my second one. So Pulp Fiction. The
Get
Big
her.
Lebowski.
Hit her. Whiskey over here still hasn't watched it.
What, The Big Lebowski?
I
haven't
get
seen
so
it
much
either.
shit for what I don't watch. Close your mouth, Tim. Close your mouth. I
The Big
literally,
Lebowski.
I just, there's movies that people haven't seen, and Neil makes it very aware to everyone around me that I have not seen what he's seen. But if he hasn't seen something
It's
I've
the
seen, I don't
Big
go around and like
Lebowski.
run you over. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Neil
watched the
hasn't
Big
seen it
Lebowski.
either, or Dragon hasn't seen it either, and you don't give Dragon anything for it. Like,
It's more fun
Like-
to give you crap about it.
I've never heard of it until
Oh my
Neil.
Oh man,
Back to
So-
Tim.
really? Oh yeah, so
Here you
Pulp
go.
Fiction, The Big Lebowski, and shit. Come back to me for my third one because this is a rough
Okay.
one.
there are way too many toilet Pepes floating around.
So
on our screen right now.
Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies.
Nice.
Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Of
because if I'm on
course.
an island, I want to laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
And then for my third one, you might have to come back for my third one as well. I got to think about the third one. 'Cause I'm stuck on this island forever, right?
Right.
Maybe
yeah.
Old School would be my third one. I really
That's a
like
good
that movie.
Old
It's-
school.
Good one.
Nice.
Super
Yeah.
Troopers. I'll go with Super Troopers.
oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it
Love that
depends on the
one.
day you would ask. You know, like I
Yeah.
think you gotta put Fight Club, Godfather Part 2. I mean, there's so
Ah,
many
Godfather
that
was
you
up
don't
there.
want to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you would
I
be on
put-
this island with me, right? So I would get your video collection as well, right?
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
it wouldn't just
we
be
could
my own.
Combine. No one said a survival movies. We can learn how to survive on the island. So I guess we're all not. None of us are practical.
Yeah, Bear Grylls collection right there.
Yeah.
I'll do Castaway to help me.
Say Castaway is probably like, as long as you have a ball, you're not going to go insane, right? You have something that you can talk to. That movie, I have to admit, that movie was ridiculous.
I thought
I
it was
have
terrible.
never- I have never watched a movie with so little talking and one person the whole time. I'm like, why am I still watching this? And then I finished it and was like, I'm ashamed that I wasted that much of my life on that movie.
I agree. Like, because I talk to myself all the time. Like, what the hell did I do this for? Like, he doesn't talk to himself. Who doesn't talk to themselves? They're on a
I've
deserted
been talking
island.
to myself the whole time. He talks to a ball. I would have been
Yeah.
like, we are gonna die on this island. Like you talk to yourself. It was not practical at all.
Right.
At all. No.
It's an interesting
Like, if I cut
perspective.
my hand, I would be screaming the F word. Like, fuck
Right.
yeah!
Yes. Absolutely. See, Tim gets it. And then scary movies. I love scary movies, but you do not watch scary movies on a deserted island by yourself. That's just a no-no. So you have to
No.
have like different, yeah.
My
So.
favorite movie that's like that with Castaway, in my opinion, one of the greatest achievements in movies. The entire movie was in a car with one person and a cell phone. The entire movie. I've never been more riveted by someone sitting in a car driving. And it's called Locke. It's Tom Hardy. It is amazing. Like your gut just like you're just in this situation with him the whole way through. It is
That doesn't seem that
the
bad.
craziest way to spend, but you spend 2 hours watching someone drive a car.
But it's
Like
Tom
there's
Hardy.
no oh, okay, calm down.
I mean,
It's so
I'm
good.
just saying.
It's so good. Anyways,
The
What else you
Dragon's
got,
looking for
Christmas?
his toy now. Saw him looking side to side.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I
not
gotta
good.
have my toy over there.
You said Tom Hardy. Let me find this toy real quick.
Yeah.
it's
It's Dragon that gets hot and bothered by the Tom Hardy, not me, huh?
all three of us. I think.
That's fair.
Tom's a cool dude. Tom's a cool dude. We have coffee every now and then.
Get out of here.
Don't tease me like that, Mark. That's not
Tim,
nice.
Tim probably knows him. Tim's famous.
Tim,
That's
look
true.
me
Tim
up.
is famous.
That's true.
Tim works
Yeah.
at movie stars.
Not,
Oh yeah.
not movie star. I live in Pennsylvania, so there's not too many movie stars here.
That doesn't matter. You still have connections. We
Yeah.
can talk later.
One of the coolest things Tim ever told me was that he got ripped off for Paranormal Activity when he was living in California. That was
Yeah.
one of the
Seriously?
coolest stories.
Yeah, so when you go to pitch parties, you should probably have your ideas copyrighted. So don't ever go to a pitch party, pitch your idea to someone,
Oh no.
and
So-
when they tell you it's a terrible idea, and then a couple of months later someone makes it, you're just like,
Dang.
no shit.
Every time I
Oh.
watch Paranormal Activity, I'm like, I know the guy who actually created this.
I pitched it. Well, it didn't happen
That's
for me,
amazing.
but for
Wow.
the
Awful. Oh my gosh.
yeah, well, I came from Pennsylvania originally, moved out to LA, and sometimes when you're from a small area like mine, where I live in the middle of the woods. You just expect people to be honest, right? You know, like that's that's just the idea that you get. And you learn quickly that everyone is there to make it, and they don't care who they have to step on to get ahead. And that wasn't my goal when I was out there. It was to make it by trying as hard as possible. And unfortunately, when you give your ideas to people that don't care about you as a person, but care about making it and seeing you, like, and they're like, oh no, that's not a good idea. And then all of a sudden they make it, and you're just like, okay.
Kind of prepares you for the space you're in now, right? I mean,
Yeah,
how many
it
times
really
have
does.
we been screwed over by the people that we think are going to have our back or have good motives? I mean,
Yeah.
just saying. It's all kind of relative.
I thought paranormal activity was real.
It is. Look behind you.
Stop it. Oh my God. Freaking Tim. I have to tell this story because Tim pissed me off. So
is it about a chair?
I've been going into these spaces that you guys have been having as much as I can, try to like hop in. So I go into this space, it's late at night, and they're talking about this damn chair. And if you've not seen it, Tim shared this video of this rocking chair. Was it in your house?
It's in my attic right now, yeah.
Okay, yeah, don't go in your attic. So
my God.
the chair freaking moves in the video.
Yep.
And I'm in the space listening to this, and they're talking about this. I'm like, of course, I come in the space, and we're talking about this damn chair. I shit you not. After I leave his space, my closet light came on and then went off. And I was like, shit.
No.
You know what would have been?
No.
You would have
It
been
did.
super scary if your closet light came on and the chair was in there.
Damn it.
Ooh. For a moment, you
Oh
just
my
saw
gosh. Oh,
Mhm.
I just, like, I felt that all through my body. I was like, I'm not going into any more of Tim's spaces.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I didn't anticipate it moving. And some people were kind of upset because it didn't like violently rock or anything. It just slowly
but
over
you
time
could
like
yeah,
twists and rocks.
you could see it.
Oh, yeah. So
oh
it
my
was,
gosh.
we no longer sell that chair. It is just sitting in its own designated place. We're just going to leave it be.
Oh my
So
gosh.
for the
it'll be
next person
sold.
who buys your house.
Yeah, they can have it.
They're screwed. I think so. I was gonna ask another question, but this one might pit you against each other. If you can only pick one person from your team to have on the island with you, who is it gonna be?
Ooh.
You guys are gonna pick each other because you're here to hear it.
Yeah,
right?
I would pick
You're gonna
Merc,
cheat.
and nothing against Drew. Drew's just younger, and he needs to still start his family. Me and Merc already have a family, so
That's true. Yeah, I probably picked him too. He has more life experience. Drew is younger, but
He'd be more valuable.
Drew is very resourceful though, so it's a very tough.
he is.
He knows a lot about everything. So, and he speaks like 5 languages.
But
So
no
if
one's
we-
on there
if-
but you, so he's not going to speak
First of all,
Portuguese
if
to you.
we came across some natives that spoke a different language, I would have Drew. He's a linguist. He would have a better chance of communicating with them than you.
Yeah, it's true. I could do
so-
like this, like X. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't be very.
it's a tough one though. But honestly, no matter who I got sent with, I think I'd feel comfortable with either one of these guys because they're both very resourceful, practical. But it's definitely a tough decision. I would definitely go with Tim though first, just because he's older, has more experience.
Yeah, and plus I would die first, so he would have more food. He'd be like, "Oh, Tim's not eating all these coconuts. He got poisoned." So
Yeah.
he would make me do all the risky
Tim's kind of
stuff
scared
first.
of you, Merc.
Nah, I'm
No,
not.
I'm
afraid
not.
of Tim. He's harmless.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, I
Plus,
definitely would go with both. Like either, my core team they're pretty amazing people. They're really good problem solvers, and the way that they solve problems is sometimes to the fact where you're like, "Whoa, that is such an easy solution to such a complex problem," but no one else has thought about it that way before. And I think that's what I like working with Merc and Drew just for that specific reason. So yeah, I mean, I would like it if they were both there, but if I had to choose one because Merc's here, I would choose Merc. Plus, he's got that
I
gray
love
hair.
it.
He's like, because he's here.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate having you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Where do
you.
you guys? Where does the show get posted?
Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, Google, podcast
Yeah.
platforms.
So
We are. Yeah.
Dragon go through and edit it, and then it'll be out tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
Typically, it goes out the next morning. but it depends on how much editing Dragon has to do because of Neil.
Makes
He's
sense.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
here-
really good with all the noises and thumping. Yeah.
I'll give you a good soundbite right now. If you want to get involved with our project and become a part of our community, go to highseaspirates.com and hit the join the Discord button, and let's build this community together.
Let's go.
Yep. I
Oh.
second that. I second that comment.
Awesome. Thank you guys again for coming on. All of us loved having you two on. I definitely would love to have you guys on again, just to like shoot the shit and hang out. Yeah. So I think that's it for episode 18 of Chaotic Exposure, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you
And
so
Merc
much.
and Tim send nudes.
Up, they're already on their way. Check
Yeah.
your inbox.
Check your inbox.